Hello everyone. Whew. I tell you. And why do I do this to myself? Why? So today's video is about how Onision's channel died and why it died, and if we can deem any lessons from it. Now, Onision is a very interesting case study because he's one of the most disliked people on YouTube. People hate watching him rather than watch him because they love him. He's pretty much been blacklisted and so much more. And I have a list here. It doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot on it. So, these are the main reasons behind Onision's channel dying. His emotional manipulation. Videos like YouTube fired me, or I'm gonna lose my house, and I'm gonna lose a car, and I'm struggling. I may end up struggling to feed my family. That is emotional manipulation. At the end of the day, if Onision, who has been on the platform for 10 years and was a very, very successful YouTuber at one point, didn't save some of the money that he made back then, and he is struggling financially now, then that is very telling of his planning ability, especially the last, probably say 5 or 6 years while he's been with Lainey, because and also the whole fact that he did that video that if he didn't have YouTube, at one point he had a gun to his head but he didn't kill himself, but if he loses YouTube he doesn't know what he'll do. That's emotional manipulation. It always has been, it always will be, and there's no sugarcoating that. The fact that he's saying, I'm going to kill myself if you don't subscribe, or if you don't do this, or you don't do that, that is emotional manipulation at its worst. And anybody who validates that is weird. Then there is false claims against other YouTubers, one of which is being and it's one of the biggest. Shane Dawson is a paedophile. Now, I think this, and I think a few other YouTubers fit on this point, that this is out of jealousy because Shane's doing 1,000 times better than Onision is. Shane's videos, though he doesn't upload extremely regularly, he does, when he does upload, people literally are on tenterhooks waiting for it, because we want to know what he's going to say. We want to know who he's going to talk to. We want to know who he's going to show in a new light, who he's going to show for whatever reason. Excuse me. That Jacqueline Glenn deserved what happened to her because she didn't listen to him when he told her that Richie was a dick. Now, any relationship you're in, or any time a friend is in a relationship with somebody who you know is a dick, you telling them that that person is a dick isn't going to change anything. I've been there. I've got the t-shirt. I've watched that happen multiple times. And I mean multiple times. I've watched people be in relationships with dicks for years, and then when they split up or when something happens, I'm like, told you so. But at the end of the day, if you fall out with somebody just because they're in a relationship with somebody that you think is a dick, then that is petty on your behalf. You can warn them and then let them make their own decisions. If they make the wrong one, then it's the wrong decision. But even though Jacqueline knew that he had cheated in the past, Richie swore up and down that he wouldn't cheat again. she was, it was something she was paranoid of because it had happened to her in the past. She believed him because she loved him, and then what came out, and she didn't deserve it at all. She didn't deserve any of it. She didn't deserve to find out in Scotland. And Gertie should have come here. Blair White is the devil. Now, I don't agree with everything that comes out of Blair White's mouth. And just because I disagree with her doesn't mean that I think she's the devil. I think she's entitled to her political beliefs, that she's entitled to her social beliefs. She's entitled to the way she is about certain things with regards to the trans community and things like that. And it's a lot when you do a video calling her a cunt for like 20 minutes long. And then tells, this is a funny one, tells Blair to do her research and then says that if she'd have gone to Iraq or Afghanistan and got raped, she'd have to keep the baby. But she's trans, so she doesn't have a uterus, so she wouldn't have a baby. And she proved he didn't do any research because it is public knowledge that she's trans. Excuse me, and that Eugenia Cooney's dying. Now, I don't talk about the Eugenia Cooney situation, just like I don't talk about the Amberlynn Reid situation, because my weight issues, I have weight issues. I'm trying my best to lose it, and I am slowly losing it. But whatever's going on with Eugenia, people on the internet aren't going to change that. People judging her on the internet aren't going to change that. If anything, it'll make it worse. Now, it could be a mental disorder, which is what anorexia is, or it could be an actual physical disorder that we're not aware of. But that's down to her family and her real life friends to sort out, not some stupid arsehole on the internet that was her friend that's turned into a complete dick. Bad behaviour. He puts people's personal lives on show. He's done this with Billy, Social Repose, Shane Dawson, Blair White, all his exes, Lainey Bott and several others. Now, we all know what happened with Billy. Basically, she smoked weed, so he said that you have to agree to be chained to the back basement wall, wear a sign saying I'm sorry for lying, then getting a tattoo saying I'm sorry I lied, or I'm a liar, all just for smoking weed, which was actually illegal where it was illegal where she was, but if she'd have been where he was, it would have been legal. So it's illegal and legal in the US, but because it was illegal where she was and she broke a law, he got pissed off. But it's weed. That's coming from someone who lives in a country where it's not legal. CBD oil is, but not weed itself. You can get it medicinally, but it's very, very hard. Then Jacqueline Kelly basically saying, you know, everything about their relationship, everything that he knows about the possible ins and outs of their relationship and stuff like that. And it's like, grow up, Greg. Shane Dawson actually put Shane's emails out there. All his exes, he's talked about every single one of his exes, which I am actually working on a series to do with that. It's just a case of everything this year sort of delayed a lot of things. But I'm about 3 exes in. But he literally puts their entire relationship out there. He did it with Charlie, he did it with Sky. He's done it with Adrian, he's done it with a lot of people. And he will continue to do it. He even puts Lainey's shit out there. Even when she's told him not to. Or, sorry, should I say they. Bad videos. told someone that was suffering from emotional abuse that it's their fault for feeling that emotional abuse because they have control over their own emotions, but they don't have the control over the words that come out of their parents' mouths that is emotionally abusing them, that if those words came out of anybody's parents' mouths would hurt the child. And also says that the person who suffers from depression, it's their own fault for feeling depressed. Okay, that's a stretch. And he tells people how to manage their hair. Now, this is more towards African Americans. He did a video about African American hair and how they have a set way of managing their hair, because African American hair is extremely curly, it can be very dry, and it's just not very manageable. Now, I have Hispanic hair, so my hair is quite curly, apart from when it's this long. It's not curl free, but the shorter it is, the curlier it is. And even just my hair is a nightmare. Literally, even with this day, it takes me over half an hour to straighten it. Part of that's because it's so long, and part of it is because it's so thick. But my natural hair is curly, and I can only imagine what it would be like to have a hair that curly. So they have set ways they manage their hair. Washing your hair for somebody with African American hair isn't just a 10-minute job like it is for most people. It is a 2-day job. And he basically told people to wash their hair more and things like this, and it ended up ruining a lot of people's hair because they did what he told them to, and he fucked them up. If you're going to talk about something you know, not about something you don't know jack shit about. He has creepy tendencies. I did actually have a different word for this, but that's a bit of a stretch. He married Lainey when she was 17, and I think he was either 27 or 25. So that's a bit weird. Says it's okay for people to find other people under the age of 18 attractive. It's just as long as you don't do anything. Also, he likes underdeveloped women. Now, most of you know this, I'm bi. My women, I like them developed. I like curves. I like strong, curvy women. I wouldn't go as far as to say my sort of curvy, but I know what my sort of curvy is. And underdeveloped for me is just icky. Sorry, but it just is. Bad tweets. Now, there are 2 instances that come to mind on this. Christina Grimmie and Manchester. On both incidents, when both incidents happened, after both incidents happened, he went on a tirade saying people are dying everywhere, people are dying all the time, but you don't mourn them, but you mourn the people that die because somebody's done something stupid. And it's like, yeah, because if a child dies from cancer, then unfortunately that death has been foretold for months, if not years. If a child dies from an illness, it's usually not straight away. The parents will have time to say goodbye. However, when it is something like getting shot or getting blown up, then that becomes a different matter, because literally 1 minute that they're having fun, having a nice time, picking the kid up from a concert, then they're dead. And coming from somebody who knew people that died in Manchester, that's offensive. I don't find much offensive, but that I do. Granted, I wasn't super close to these 2 people that died, but I knew them. And the fact that somebody said that about people that I know is fucking annoying. I'm sorry, but it is. Then there's the VidCon ban. He has a lifetime VidCon ban because he showed up heavy con with a bulletproof jacket on, ranting on stage, and I'm not sure if he had a knife or not, or if it was a fake knife. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost sure there was a fake knife involved. And it caused a few people to get a bit panicked, which it would. So he's been banned from VidCon for life, which isn't a shock. He also feeds off drama. Now, the reason behind this is when he's involved in drama, and he's even admitted this, when he's involved in drama, his views go up, which means his AdSense goes up, which means his income goes up. So he fuels drama to try and pull in money, but it's just making things worse for him in the long run. So, you know. He's also been blacklisted. Now, this is a rumour, but I'm actually inclined to believe it. A couple of years ago, every year there is what's called a Creator Summit, where selected creators from YouTube go to a meeting and they talk about things that affect the YouTube community. Now, people like me who are like on the bottom, we never get it. But you know, people like Matthew Centaro, Philip Franco, and a few others, quite a few others have been asked in. And they don't just get like, you know, the goody two-shoes. They get a array. And apparently on one of these meetings there was a blacklist that was discussed, where certain channels that were deemed as bad, or, you know, essentially bad for business, were on what's called a blacklist. And they were discussing in the meeting whether they should just terminate the channels or what. And it was discussed that because they're not actually breaking any terms of service, they can't terminate the channels, but they can make it hard for the channel to survive. And I think that has happened because of everything that's happened over the last 10 years with Onision. First, he seemed fine, and then as time's gone by, he's got worse and worse and worse. And he's now at a point where his channel is struggling. He gets views. His views are generally between 20 and 50,000 per video. And there might be the occasional video that goes above, but 9 times out of 10 it's between 10 and 50,000. And that is bad for somebody who has been on the platform for that long, that has multiple channels with millions of subscribers over all those channels. But it's his own behaviour that's caused him to be blacklisted. So, also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but he has been on sort of like an apology tour lately. He did a video with Jackie Glenn where they discussed his behaviour around her dating Richie. He apologised. He did a video over live stream or a debate or whatever you want to call it with Blair, and he apologised to Blair. And he actually sort of half-assed apologised to Shane, saying, if I'm not going to apologise, but he has no proof. He just, the way Shane acts with kids puts him off. And it's like, unless you've actually seen proof that he hurts children, then you've got nothing to come back on. And there was no proof anywhere. Yeah, there's some bad jokes that he made on a podcast. So he's half-assed apologised to Shane. He's apologised to Jacqueline. He's apologised to Blair. And he's also apologised to Eugenia, and is now actually backing Eugenia up. So it's like, but he's done so many views putting it down. Now I'm getting dizzy from But I think it's too little too late, because it's got to the point now where people are done. They're just done. It's enough. You've had enough, and I don't blame him. Now, I'm not saying that he deserves the treatment he's had of some YouTubers, one in particular, that made 17 videos in one day before she did a live stream with him, a debate with him. But I do believe he does deserve some of the aggravation he gets because of the way he behaves. He behaves like a spoiled child, for all intents and purposes. It's the best way to put it. He behaves like a spoiled brat. YouTube doesn't pay me enough. YouTube doesn't like me. YouTube wants to get rid of me. Yeah, because you're a fucking dick. End of. It's your own fucking fault. Grow the fuck up and get the fuck over it. I tell you, sometimes you just want to bang the head against a brick wall. So, I'm going to edit these videos. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to bank some videos for Christmas. We might do a vlog Christmas morning, but we don't know what we're doing for the rest of the day, because if we're going to his brother's, I can't record there. Because my sister-in-law doesn't like that sort of thing, which I've said is fine. I would never put my nephew on YouTube. It's not part of who I am. She doesn't want it. That's fine by me. Now, but I will try and bank some videos between now and then. So we'll probably edit these and then spend the rest of the day researching video ideas. I have a few, because I want to do a couple of my forensics grad videos. Though there's been sort of a mixed reception, but mainly with one. The other two have had a pretty good reception. The one I was most worried about has been the one that's had the least bad reaction. One of the ones that had the least bad reaction. So anyway, so I'm gonna bugger off, get these videos edited, and stay safe, be good, have fun, and I will see you soon.